Hello, I'm Ray Beavers, CEO of United Cooperative Services, your cooperative and mine. What we're going to be talking about today is the beginning of a series of presentations we're going to be making, telling you more about our vision of the future, especially dealing with the electric utility industry, and more specifically United Cooperative Services. I'm sure you're just like me. The first presentation you want to talk about or hear about has to do with cost, and the fact that costs have gone up considerably in the last 4 to 5 years. We've spent a lot of time talking about this in the magazine and presentations at the annual meeting and on our website, that the cost primarily is due to the increasing cost of fuel to generate in our generating plants. We saw natural gas, which is a primary component, a fuel component for our generation, get up to $14 a million BTUs just a few years ago. At that time, generation costs just went through the roof. And at the same time, the United was trying to mitigate these costs with you by not just trying to tell you it's coming, but at the same time increasing our energy conservation programs to make people aware you can do something about it. We can't do a lot about the cost, but we can do a lot about what we demand, or the amount of energy we demand, which of course ends up we have to pay for it anyway. So in the future, we feel like costs are going to continue to go up. I wish I could say I had a magic crystal ball or enough knowledge about specifically what's going to happen in the future. I'd share it with you. None of us know. There's so much volatility in the energy markets that it's hard to even speculate. A long-term contract is 2 to 3 years because of the volatility and the fear people have making long-term contracts. Nonetheless, we do know the cost is going to go up primarily because our aging generating plants are having to be replaced. As the economy comes back, we do know that we're going to have increased growth in this state. And with growth, it's going to be a higher demand of electricity. Higher demand of electricity means more generating plants. Now keep in mind, the generating plants we're building today are a heck of a lot more expensive than they were back in the 70s and 80s and early 90s. Matter of fact, to get really specific about it, the same type of generation, well, a lot more efficient generation, I'll say that, but the same type of gas generation is 300% higher in cost to build today than it was in the 80s. And we don't see that cost coming down any in the near future. And with this cost and increased demand that we know it's going to happen, we got to pay for it. As we buy this power from our power supplier, Brazos Electric Cooperative, they're building new plants and they're building more transmission line, and that's a whole nother story. Transmission system throughout this country is dilapidated, more or less. We have not kept up with that infrastructure, and we're having to rebuild now. And the rebuilding of transmission and generation plants are the two most expensive components of your electric rates. Now, just to keep things in perspective, United Cooperative Services cost, that component of your rate, has not gone up a cent in 10 years. Matter of fact, our long-range projections just for the distribution costs, again, the cost that United Cooperative Services charges to provide you distribution service, we don't see the cost going up significantly in the next 10 years. It's that generation and that transmission that's going to continue to be the components of our rates that impact us, and impacts you and I. Now, what are we going to do about it? We're going to work with you. We're going to continue to work with you. We as consumers, and I'm a member of this co-op, I pay the same rates you do. We have got to be more conservative. We have got to be wiser in how we use power. Right now, we have probably one of the most extensive conservation programs in the nation. It goes in line with the high productivity this cooperative has. Of course, we expect that. We've got outstanding employees like we have. And every employee is just doing everything they can to help you as a member. So call on us. Let us come out and talk to you about what you can do to mitigate your electric bills, to put as much hold on them as you can as the prices go up. That's the only choices we have. We're going to be making more presentations in the future, but we wanted to start off with this one. And I hope if you have any questions, you don't hesitate to contact us. Thanks for your support.